like to call to order the Board of Supervisors meeting for April 18th at 7 p.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
You okay?
All right, let's start with a roll call. Miss Amy?
Supervisor Jeannie Vogel?
Here.
Supervisor Linda Waite?
Here.
Supervisor Derek Daniil?
Here.
Chairman Dan Wolfel?
Here.
Supervisor Mark Hain?
Here.
All right. And we have the meet and greet portion of our meeting, so we'll give you an opportunity to introduce yourself multiple times tonight. How would you like to start?
Heather and Nick Hoffman, and we're here representing St. Nick's Tree Farm.
Okay, great.
Alan Sovereign, representing DHM Farm.
Sounds good.
Craig Nellis, 4216 Highway 57.
Carrie Nellis, Sevastopol.
You're related, okay.
Marcus Fussell, just sitting here on behalf of Kevin Dymer.
Okay, good enough. And our videographer crew, a two-man staff.
Eric Demeats, down in Sevastopol.
There you go.
Larry Chapman, Sevastopol.
Okay, well, welcome and thank you for coming this evening. Public participation. Does anyone here wish to speak on something not related to the 2 or 3 zoning issues before the board tonight? If so, feel free to raise your hand. All right, in that case, we'll move on. Amy, has our agenda been properly noticed?
The agenda has been properly noticed.
That is a good thing. Then we would need a motion to adopt.
All right, I'll move to adopt the agenda for this evening, April 18th, 2022.
All right.
Oh, welcome.
Wow.
And the map will second that, I guess? I'll second that.
I was very glad to see the TV was still on the wall.
It would have been louder, Dan.
Well, you never know. We have a,
I seconded.
thank you, motion by Linda, second by Jeannie. To do what? To approve the agenda? All right.
Yes.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right. Approval of the minutes, the Board of Supervisors meeting from February 21st. We've all had a chance to take a look at them, so motion would be in order unless something crept up we didn't know about.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the Board of Supervisors meeting from February 21st, 2022.
Motion by Mark,
Second.
second by Derek. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No one. It's beautiful. Okay, we move on. Pending business discussion. Okay, I was hoping to have some information for you relative to the tennis court renovation, but we're mired in mud. That's about the best thing. We're on another iteration of a rebid and a potential downsizing, and unfortunately, that is still a work in progress. So I hope that at next month's meeting, this can be finally resolved, and we will pursue using, as we've talked about, borrowing the money from the state in addition to what we have at the town, and then getting repayment back through the tourism zone, as we have discussed in the past. So it'll bounce at least for another month. Sorry about that. It was best intentions, though. Okay, new business. We have the Hoffmans here this evening that would like to talk to us about establishing a Christmas tree farm and holiday decor sales as a home business at their property on Highway 4250, or I should say Highway 57 near Valmy. And I am going to turn this portion of the meeting over to Ms. Waite. Linda?
Okay, so the Plan Commission met on Tuesday, April 12th, and the Hoffmans were present at that meeting for their request for a conditional use permit to operate a Christmas tree farm and a small retail shop out of an existing barn, as our chairman indicated. It was the unanimous recommendation of the Plan Commission that we support their request for a conditional use permit. I'll briefly summarize why we supported that. We felt that it fit very well with our comprehensive plan as to agritourism. and, attributed to preserving our agricultural heritage here in the town and a good reflection on our rural landscape. We also felt it was in harmony with the existing properties in the neighborhood, in and around that area. It's the white house just up the road here with several outbuildings, the big front porch. Let's see, overall, our residents, again, I'll refer back to our comprehensive plan where our residents would like to see that country living be maintained and continued as our primary land use. It would be a service to both visitors and residents with a Christmas tree farm. They did indicate that the first few years, of course, their trees aren't quite tall enough to, unless you want a miniature Christmas tree, that they would be bringing trees in from another source. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. And then as far as the retail business, it would be operating just for the months of November and December, that seasonal holiday time when people are shopping for wreaths and other holiday decor and things like that. They plan to use the existing barn, mentioning that they would intend to put in perhaps a sliding barn door, some grass area, concrete floor, again, to make their holiday decor. We did not hear any opposition from any of the neighbors. Let's see, I think that about covers it. We really like the name St. Nick's Tree Farm, so I think that about covers it. That if you look at our recommendation sheet, we felt that the purpose and intent definitely followed our comprehensive plan, again, maintaining that rural and preserving that family farm heritage. Consistent with the comprehensive plan, yes. Concerns or objections, we did talk about the driveway for ingress and egress, and the Hoffmans indicated that they plan to use only the southernmost driveway for both exiting and entering their property, so. And the signage, someone had mentioned the signage, and that would be controlled by Door County zoning, their land use department, so we wouldn't have any say on that. It would probably be a 2x3 home business type sign. So I don't know if the Hoffmans wanted to add anything to that. Or Derek, you want to plan commission as well?
Questions
So
from the
again,
board?
unanimous recommendation that we support it.
Questions, Mark? Anyone?
No?
No. I have one, if no one else does. Does the conditional use state the months that they may operate?
I thought the
Yes.
staff report
I think it told us when they wanted to, but does it put a limit on when they want to?
The staff report from the Land Use Department, number 8, said when or if the business will be open to the public, currently requested November through December.
Okay.
So if it would be beyond that time frame, you would need to contact Door County Land Use.
Okay. I think the other thing that came up with respect to this business was that they were sharing the obvious, which is during the November, December, it's a pretty quiet time up here, and the small amount of traffic that this will generate, I don't think will create any hazards, additional hazards where they're located, but
And-
otherwise, I'm good to go.
Well, I hope for their business, it's a large amount of traffic.
Yes, but not so much that we have to worry about egress.
Yes.
We addressed parking too, so as
Right.
you can see on the site map, there's plenty of room out there for parking. So that was not a problem.
Okay, any other comments from any of the board? If not, a motion to recommend to the RPC would be in order.
I'll make a motion to recommend to the RPC the conditional use permit for Heather and Nick Hoffman.
All right, we have a motion by Derek, a second by,
I'll second.
Mark, to recommend to the RPC that we are in support of the establishment of Nick's Christmas Tree Farm. Any further discussion?
I believe it was initially scheduled for the, for the RPC for May 6th, but you've requested a continuance to a later date?
Yeah, it's
Is that
gonna be
correct?
May 19th.
May 19th, okay.
Okay, good enough. So we have a motion and a second. And so all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carried. Thank you. Thank you
Good
very
luck.
much.
Good luck.
Good luck. And this is the night where we have lots of these. So next item on our agenda is a request from Kevin Merritt, an agent for Vine Street Rentals, who has a request to rezone the western 15 acres from countryside to commercial center to establish a commercial storage building. This property is located at 5592 County Highway T. Basically, it's behind the veterinary clinic off of the highway just prior to the roundabout. Again, I will pass the torch to Linda.
Okay, so again, this was heard by the Plan Commission last Tuesday, April 12th. And it was the unanimous recommendation of our we have 5 members present, that we would not support this request. We seriously looked at the staff report provided by Door County Land Use, which does not support the request either. It was not consistent with either our comprehensive plan or the county's future comprehensive plan. They did not see this proposed use as consistent with neighboring properties or the character of the neighboring properties. Again, that's a very rural area. They did not see it, nor did we see it, as the best use for the property when businesses are encouraged to provide attractive facades and buildings and entrances and things like that. So, and again, this piece is at the very entrance to the town of Sevastopol. It'll be one of the first things you see when you enter across our border. And again, a zoning change, from countryside to commercial center, once that zoning change is made, it's subject to anything else that would be allowed in commercial center for additional development. And again, I'll just refer to our future land use map. It does not indicate that as desirable commercial property at this time. So again, it was our recommendation to not support the request.
Okay. You mentioned that you're here.
I'm just kind of filling in. Unfortunately, you couldn't be here.
Okay. So do you have any comments with respect to this before we continue on?
I don't believe so. You got a chance to talk, I believe, in the last meeting.
Right.
I don't think I have anything that was outside the norm of what he already stated.
Not a problem. Any comments from members of the board? Boy, it's quiet tonight. Okay, I'll have comments if none of you
Well,
else.
the plan commission, I think, did a very thorough job in this one, and from all the paperwork we've gotten in letters, it doesn't make sense for us to pass it.
Right, I'm glad you mentioned that. We did receive several letters in opposition to the zoning change from neighboring properties.
Including one from the city of Sturgeon Bay, which I
Yes.
thought was
Yeah.
very interesting,
Yes.
not in support of the zoning change, because it also falls within the area that if they ever chose to annex, they could do, and doesn't
Yeah.
fit within the guidelines of theirs. And that was exactly what I was going to mention, Mark, the same thing, that we had numerous people come forward and basically say this isn't a right fit for our area. Also at the Plan Commission meeting, and I had an opportunity to talk with Kevin as well. I think unfortunately Kevin might have done a little bit of research on this, and maybe the timing wasn't right, but it was under his impression that there weren't a lot of storage buildings in the area, then there was a need. And we discussed the fact that, of course, U-Haul has heated indoor storage. Estes have heated indoor storage on Egg Harbor. You have the Chalet right down the street from him. And now you have the U-Haul U-Haul, Estes, and Chalet all along there. Oh, and the new strip mall
Yeah,
buildings.
that huge one.
So it's, hopefully he finds a good use for that, that can earn him some income, but I don't think storage buildings is the right fit. So with that, a motion to deny the request of the RPC would, a BOA, this would be the Board of Adjustment, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll make that motion that the town board forward a recommendation of non-support for the zoning change based on the items that I mentioned earlier.
Okay. Motion by Linda, second by
I'll second that.
Jean. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of not supporting this, please indicate by, or signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Thank you twice, Linda.
And I believe that is scheduled for the RPC on May 6th.
I think I saw it
Oh,
on
I'm
there.
sorry.
May, it is May.
May 6th?
5th, 6th, I know I wrote it down.
I wrote it down.
So will somebody from your group be at that meeting?
I will probably be at that meeting.
Okay, that's great. Okay, not to be outdone, we have.
It's May
three-
5th. It's
May 5th.
May 5th?
Yeah, at 3 o'clock. That's what I just saw.
Okay.
We have a third request tonight for rezoning that went before the Plan Commission, and this is from DHM Farms, which is Mr. Schott, who requests to rezone a portion of a 20-acre parcel, to rezone part of it from countryside to commercial, which fronts the highway, and a portion from commercial to countryside. The property is located at 5636 Danmar Drive, which is also known as the Chalet, used to be the Chalet Motel and is now the Chalet Apartments and Storage Areas. And not to give Linda a rest, I will pass it to her once again.
All right, and I will say once again, it was the unanimous recommendation of the Plan Commission, again, from April 12th, that we do not recommend support of the zoning change. And the reasons why we did not support it, Mr. Sovereign was here also at our meeting. We did not support it because we felt we would be remiss in supporting a zoning change without knowing exactly what was going to be happening on the property, or what was going to be the intended purpose of the property, and if the development would be done in accordance with our future land use or the goals of our comprehensive plan. So it was very vague, too vague. When you don't know the purpose, it's hard to recommend a zoning change. So even though our comprehensive plan may support commercial development in that area along the highway corridor, without knowing what that's going to be, we could make a decision at this time. So we didn't know, without knowing the intended use, is it the best use of the property? We don't know. Is it cohesive with the neighboring properties? We wouldn't know because we don't know the purpose. We also, someone pointed out that if you look at the staff report, it's more or less a negative staff report as well, without knowing the intended use. So one of the questions at the Plan Commission, and correct me if I'm wrong, Derek, was this was more or less a non-starter. Why did land use even accept your application without having an intended use stated? So just, you know, incompleteness there, and kind of putting the town in a precarious situation where we're supposed to make a recommendation when we don't know what would happen. So again, it was the recommendation that we not support any zoning change at this time. Did I miss anything, Derek?
No. Questions from the board? All right, I was at this meeting as well. A couple other things that came up for informational purposes were I did contact the DOT to understand what opportunities existed should this property be rezoned for an additional driveway, and was informed that the DOT has shared with Mr. Schott that No additional driveway access will be allowed along the corridor between the chalet and down by Gordon Road, the gravel access road, or driveway, I should say. They were informed that they would, I think, look at allowing them to enlarge the current driveway that they have and then do a frontage road or whatever off of the existing driveway. The other thing that came up in the conversation at the end was the fact that the back half of this lot, potentially, they were discussing the possibility of putting in an RV park. So you'd have a fairly significant, large traffic going in and out of there, depending on how it works in the final analysis. But in addition to the things that Linda mentioned, I just wanted to add that.
There were also a couple letters from neighboring property owners in opposition to a zoning change.
Right. So, any further questions from the board? Okay, then a motion to deny.
Dan,
So, sorry.
you have anything to say? I mean,
Not at this point.
okay, I didn't know.
Okay.
It wasn't pretty incomplete, when I feel that we have a complete plan, I think we can come back for.
Oh, I have a question for, you handed us this revised
Oh,
site
yeah.
map or whatever.
Thank you.
Did you want to point out something on here, Dan? I see something is whited out from the original application packet.
Yes, that was, the storage unit that we intended on building in
Oh,
the future.
but it's not there.
on the plan anymore.
Okay.
The area in the back is about the size that we'd like to go forward with a small campground, nothing but 30 units. And we do know the regulations, and we're willing to meet them. I mean, Dan used to own Marina View Apartments and the marina, so we're pretty familiar with what kind of entails with that kind of business.
Okay. Good enough. With that, we would need a motion. So who would like to be the leader of that motion? I'm going to guess his name would be
Okay,
Linda.
I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion that the town board forward a recommendation of non-support for the zoning request change based on again, the items that were stated earlier.
Okay, we have a motion by Linda, second by
I'll second that.
Jeannie, for a non-denial of the request to rezone. Any questions from anyone else? Hearing none, all those in favor of denying the petition signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, thank you.
Could I make one comment on, when we, the last RPC or Board of Adjustment meeting that I attended, I usually try to attend if there's a Sevastopol matter on either the Board of Adjustment or the RPC, and they really appreciate that worksheet, with the 3 items. Is it consistent with your plan, and why did you object, or why did you approve, and, the points raised. They really appreciate that, because sometimes they don't receive anything from the municipality, and it's very hard for them to, they really want to know how the municipality feels, so I think we do a nice job with our recommendations.
Good, I appreciate it. And thank you for running half of the meeting.
You're welcome.
All right. Next item on the agenda is date and time for the road tour, the infamous and fun-loving road tour. So hopefully I sent you all a note, asked you to take a peek at your calendars so we can try and select a time. I did get one response from Jeannie, who said that Saturday the 14th was not a choice. Something about her birthday and.
No, it wasn't my birthday.
Oh, wasn't it? Are you sure?
Yeah, I told her my birthday.
Okay, well, then I guess it wasn't that then. So, anybody have any particular problems with any particular day?
I prefer a Friday if possible. My weekends are pretty taxed.
I would love a Friday.
That'd be great
Oh,
for
Friday
me.
would be better.
I think that baseball starting almost every weekend.
All right, let's,
Can we do a first or third Friday?
a what?
First or third?
Third would be the 20th. I can't do the 20th.
Okay,
my
and
birthday.
then, so,
And it is my birthday,
so
contrary to opinion.
I teach a class at 8:15. I'm done by 9:30.
You want to do the 6th? Will you, as my adjutant, will you be?
Yeah, I'll be done by then.
Okay, great. I have no problem with the 6th if somebody wants to.
We'll just start a little later to accommodate Linda
Yeah,
than we
yeah, that's
normally
okay.
do, like
So we
8
start
a.m.
at like 10 or something?
We can just pick her up at the Y.
10 a.m. on May 6th?
I'm pretty sweaty, so.
Does that work?
Sit up front by Dan, that's fine.
Thanks, yeah. That work for you, Amy?
Sure.
Wait, does she have to get a request off of work for that, or how does this work?
No, you guys go. Like, I start it, and you guys go.
She's gonna make lunch.
10 a.m., May
10
6th.
a.m., May 6th. Okay, good to go. All right, that was easy.
Start was at 9 or 10?
Starting at 10, I
10.
think.
Are we getting a
Great.
van
Pardon me?
again? Are we getting a van again?
That's up to you guys. Do you want a van again? Or
I don't know if
we don't know if we rent them or not.
Young rents them anymore.
Derek's got a big van sitting in his yard.
Oh, yeah, a minivan. Isn't
His
that a
work
minivan?
vehicle?
That's my work truck.
Probably shouldn't be using it for other business.
There's no windows in the back.
Well, we can see if there's one available and get one. If not,
Otherwise, we do it
fly it.
like 2 cars or something.
No, you can't do 2 cars. You're gonna do walkie-talkies?
Well, I got some good ones.
Yeah. All right, let's see what's up. We'll check it out.
Do we need to make a motion for instead of this?
No, we're good if
No.
you guys are good on the calendar.
Sure.
So
All
you
right.
promised to be done by 3? Haha.
Boy, oh boy, there's a lot. Your birthday starts on the next day.
No, it's you, Dan, you're the problem.
All right, Shower Road.
I'll put down.
There's a whole lot of stuff hiding underneath this Shower Road and the BIL application.
Committee appointments?
Are we skipping ahead?
Oh, I'm skipping
Oh,
the
yeah,
committee
we'll skip.
assignments. My apologies.
Oh, I'm on the
Right here in front of me. Committee assignments, we are updating some of our committees, things that may or may not have slipped through the cracks. So this is the current updated list. We
Oh,
have
we added the other one to it.
the cable communications technology. We had one person drop off, and we had Steve Jenkins, who used to be the Door County
Economic
Development
Corporation.
Committee Chair, as an addition, and Jim Mitschke dropped off.
Oh,
Mitchie.
Mitchie, sorry, Jim Mitchie. Mitchie, sorry, I know his name and have time pronouncing it tonight.
Jenkins, is that
Then we have
from the law
the,
office?
pardon me?
Is Jenkins from the law office?
no.
No.
Steve Jenkins was the head of
Economic
the
Development
DCEDC.
Corp.
Fellow that orchestrated the broadband survey and all that good stuff out there.
So he's a great addition. I'll
Yeah.
talk to that tomorrow night.
So did I miss anyone else on here, Amy?
Is Casey Lautenbach?
Casey
new?
was actually on, he's new, but he was on an earlier thing.
on
We
the
went back and
October.
checked.
October 1 last year.
Yeah, so we just forgot, but he had been formally done back then. One addition that will happen as we get into the weeks ahead, which is, we have the option to confirm the appointment of the crew chief for the EMRs, and I think we will do that. They select the person, and then we have the ability to confirm it. And we have the EMR chief coming tomorrow night for the annual meeting to review the status of what's going on there. So once that happens and we have a chance to sit down and talk a little further, we'll come back with a formal appointment of that person for that job.
For burn permits, they're all issued by the fire chief now, correct?
Yep.
Because
That's
I had a
correct.
call and I just gave them,
I issue the burning barrels.
okay,
Yep.
all right.
Burn permits are all done by the town, or excuse me,
City.
City.
by the city
The
fire
fire.
chief and his chief, which is great. They always
They come
send
and look at
somebody
it, yeah.
out
Yeah.
and they'll stop people from doing the wrong thing, so that's good. Okay, so back to the Shower Road. There's a couple different topics hidden in here, but Shower Road is the road that comes in off of WD going into Door County into Cape Point Park. So if you're driving east on WD, as you get to the end of WD, you turn to the right to go into Whitefish Bay Dunes, or you stay basically straight and you go in to Cape Point Park. There's been a big concern by multiple people with respect to that road. There's a parking problem. The county has enlarged the parking lot at the park. We own the road. On both sides of the road is the state DNR. And heading at the end of the road is the county Cape Point Park. How we got this, I think, all came about decades ago when the town sold its property to the state so that they could create Whitefish Bay Dune State Park. Any rate, part of the problem is they have this parking issue that goes throughout the summer. If there's an emergency up there, somebody falls in, somebody gets hurt, the road is so blocked by traffic that they're unable to get emergency vehicles in. So I got tasked by the county to work with a group to try and figure out how we're going to resolve this. We've met, and part of that group was the head of the EMRs, which was Aaron LeClaire. We had the sheriff's department represented, the fire chief was here. We had the park department, the Door County Park Department, and the Wisconsin DNR here, trying to come up with some solutions to what we do here. And it is a 20-foot wide road. There's no shoulders. We rebuilt it. Do you recall when, Amy, we rebuilt it? I want to say 10 or 12 years ago, maybe more.
I'll give you that answer in a minute.
You got that? So they're trying to address it. Right now, the only viable thing, short-term, is I'm going to have the road painted surface with these huge signs that'll say no parking, circle with a slash through them, entering into the park. And we will put up additional signage that say tow-away zone and see if we can impact it over the short term. Over the long term, we're going to try and work on some grants, either using ARPA funds or this BIL fund or some other funds in conjunction with the county to see if we can build the road out to a normal width. One of the issues with this road that was stunning was that when we rebuilt this, what we have there is all we could have. We could have that 20 feet plus 6 inches on either side for a shoulder. People drive in there, they go off the edge, they blow a tire, people on bicycles get crashed. At the meeting that I hosted a week or so back, the DNR came in and said, you got 66 feet, which was a total reversal from where we've been. So I have gone back to the DNR and I've asked them to send us written confirmation of that. And then what happens if and when they do that, and we can start to apply for grants, we have to deal with 2 or 3 additional items, one of which is burial grounds, which they believe are alongside the road, which inhibits the ability to remove stumps. So it's tough to get to 66 feet if you can't remove stumps, unless we do an elevated highway. And there's also vegetative concerns because of endangered species and who knows what else. So we're going to have to hire an engineering firm that's capable of dealing with all those issues. And it's a work in progress. We're chasing some things. We just wanted to bring you up to speed on it. If we get lucky through one of the grants, we're going to investigate using Brandon.
Right, I did. Yes.
And Linda's running that down for us and see if we can get some grant applications in it.
Oh, at Bay Lake Regional Plan.
Bay
Yeah.
Lake Regional Plan.
The coastal management grant program, this would be an ideal candidate.
Oh,
Close
nice.
to it's right off the lake. And even for either the ARPA funds or the bipartisan infrastructure law, safety, and
Right.
we've got vehicle safety, pedestrian safety, biker safety. I mean, that all falls along that road, so I think it would be a good candidate for
And
hopefully some grant.
The park department tracked for the season, how many visitors were there? You'd be surprised. What do you think the number is?
6 million?
6 million.
No.
Boy, I'm glad that's not true.
Okay.
500,000?
We had 1 million, they had 1 million visitors there.
Oh, I believe it.
So,
In
I
a
mean,
span of, they said 4 years, it went up from 400-some thousand to 1 million.
I mean, there are people, if you go by there on a boat, I mean, there are people hanging off of every rock. It's really surprising. So it sounds like it could be an ideal candidate. We had an engineering firm that we thought was going to undertake this. Linda talked to them, I talked to them. They were all excited because of all the reasons that Linda shared with you about safety and things. And then an hour after I talked to them, they called back and said they didn't have the process capability to undertake the project. So we're chasing other alternatives. So the other thing that comes under BIL was the Zabel property, and I think you're aware of the fact that we basically have said to them, sorry, you're landlocked, and you know that's the way it is. And the DOT called today and asked if we would consider, they want us to close off the road off the 4257 completely. They would contract with the Door County Highway
Close
Department.
up the old highway.
The old highway.
To
Yeah.
close off Old Highway Road
Yeah.
off of 4257. So they pulled the sign, they pulled the stop sign, and they'd either barricade it or do something appropriate. They'd do that with the Door County Highway Department as soon as we agree that we're comfortable in doing that. If any future development really had to happen there, it would be heading down towards Gordon Road. So if anyone's got some concerns about that, if not, I'll share with them that makes sense. I was debating whether we should even maybe abandon it, but I think we can leave it and just close off that end. So if you've got any feelings on that, please let me know. All right?
Well, if it's their recommendation, and they could just send us documentation saying, yeah,
Yep.
we recommend that you close this off.
I've asked for that already, so hopefully I'll
Burden off of us.
get that in the next day or so. Okay. And lastly, we do have, on the road tour, we also have an application in for TRID, is that right?
TRID, yes.
TRID, what is it, you recall what it stands for?
Town Road Improvement Plan Discretionary. So we did TRIP, didn't get anything. Now we applied for TRID,
TRID.
same project.
Done road,
Waiting to hear back,
yeah.
still waiting to hear.
The thing that's unique about this BIL application and process is they require us to have the application in by June 3rd. They have not told anyone how they're going to evaluate your application against all the other applications they receive. They haven't told us when they will award anything, but they think maybe by the end of the year. And this is the interesting one. If you do get the award, and it is by the end of the year, they have from January 1 of 2023 till December 31st of 2026 to do the work. So it's, we may be doing some of these roads on our own because we may not be here by then, so.
And the state would hire, the state would do everything. If you're awarded the grant or the funds or whatever, the state does everything. They bid, they contract or whatever, and at the end of the day, they send the town a bill for 20%. So it's an 80-20 split.
Right. Which would be great.
It
if-
was great.
Financially
It'd be
great.
nice if they could narrow down the time frame.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
it's, well, the next portion of the meeting gives you the idea of why they haven't
Oh, yeah,
narrowed it
well, I
down.
read that, yeah.
Okay, so ordinances and resolutions. So there are two resolutions in the packet this evening. And these revolve around the use of ARPA funds, which is the American Recovery Funds, which we received $200 and X thousand of money. And every week, they roll out a new set of requirements on what we can do with it and how we have to track it and so on and so forth. And one of the stipulations, two of the stipulations is one, a designation of the ARPA funds administrator. And the second one we'll talk about is a resolution adopting the procurement policy for expenditure of federal funds. So the first resolution basically is we have to designate an administrator, appoint a contact, and an authorized representative for reporting how we use our money. And you would never guess that we would have our town clerk treasurer as this designated person
It's shocking.
In all three roles.
in all three. And I am sorry to report, Amy, there is no additional pay for this, all right? You will
wasn't
get an
expecting it.
attaboy and a gold star. So it is a requirement in order to spend and track and do that, and Amy's been working on that anyhow. So that's the first resolution, and if you would agree to that, then we would need a motion to approve this, and then we'll move on to the next one.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2022-01, designation of ARPA funds administrator.
All right, we have a
To
motion
Amy.
by Derek and a
To Amy.
second.
Second.
Second by Mark. Do any of you have any further questions with respect to this? In that case, all those in favor of resolution number 2022-01, designation of ARPA funds administrator, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Boy, are you lucky, Amy. It was a clean sweep.
Every
Okay,
day.
we will move on to the next one, which is a resolution for adopting procurement policy for expenditure of federal funds. Basically, this is saying that you have to follow policies if instituted by the federal government if you're going to spend money on certain projects. Ran this by the town's attorney. She's cool with it in terms of what's up. We've reviewed it from the Wisconsin Towns Association, and attached to this are all of the rules, as you will see, town of Sevastopol
It's a good
plugged in.
read.
And
That was amazing to
Yeah.
read through.
And, you know, a lot of these things you can, I don't want to say dodge, but depending on how we use the funds, we don't have to be concerned with this. Biggest one comes in the construction, if we use it for construction. But according to Amy Sullivan, a lot of this, when you're dealing with large contractors, this is standard business policy for them, so it's not anything new for them, it's just new to us. So the biggest thing is, one of the requirements for spending those funds is having a procurement policy in compliance with federal regulations. So does anyone have any questions with respect to this? If not, a motion to approve would be in order.
I'll move to approve resolution number 2022-02, adopting a procurement policy for expenditure of federal funds.
Motion by Linda.
I'll second that.
Ooh.
Or Derek can.
Derek jumped in there.
Go for it.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Linda, second by Derek, to approve resolution number 2022-02, resolution adopting procurement policy for expenditure of federal funds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I have a question.
You do?
The deadline for claiming the standard allowance for ARPA and all that, you know, we're under that
Right,
million.
that-
That's April 30th. Are we good to go with all of that?
We will be once I
We will
go
be.
out there and do it.
Okay.
I watched a YouTube from the Treasury.
Okay.
With the exact way of how to do it. So sometime this week.
Okay,
We'll be taking
good.
care of that.
Great, thank you. All right, so that covers that. Now we're into the financial reports, and you have we have the budget versus actual, you have the transaction listing, and you have the account balances. And the budget versus actual was dropped out, but it's on your desk if you didn't see it by now. All right. If anyone has any questions on that, if not, Amy, you have a couple comments you'd like to make?
The town has made our 2022 donation to the Door County Humane Society during their promotion where every dollar that's donated was matched. The town also made its contribution to the Door County Coastal Byways, and we also paid the second quarter of our fire dues to the city of Sturgeon Bay.
No wonder we were shortchanged this
There we
month. Okay, so we would need a motion to accept the financial reports and put those on file.
I'll make a motion, excuse me, to accept the financial reports, February and March of 2022.
All right, motion by Mark, second by,
I'll second that motion, but I do have a question.
all right.
Mark Richard, our animal control officer, I see he's over his $100 per diem. Did he actually have some calls for stray animals?
He has had some calls. One was for a rabbit.
A wild rabbit?
A rabbit.
He's still chasing him.
Was it the Easter bunny?
It was before that,
Oh,
but
you walked into that.
Good one.
Okay. All right.
Know what you'll-
We-
and-
Go ahead.
And I also, the election workers that we approved in the vouchers there, I did come in person on election day, what a pleasant crew you had, Amy. Everyone was so
Wonderful.
pleasant and just moved so smoothly, and, you know, with all the ward changes and boundary lines and districts and all that, but everyone was so pleasant, so.
And we have
Thank
two of
you.
them here.
Oh, that's right, yes, thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the financial reports. Anyone else have comments? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're done. Vouchers, bills, and claims, February 22nd through April 18th. You've all seen and signed that, I think?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the routine would be somewhat similar to the last one. A motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers and claims for February 22nd through April 15th.
All right. Motion by Jeannie?
18th? Sorry, 18.
Oh, yeah, 18th.
Corrected.
Motion by Jeannie.
Second.
Second by Mark to approve vouchers, bills, and claims, February 22 through April 18th of 2022. Any questions? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good, gone. Okay, under commission minutes and other things, we do have the plan commission meeting from February 15th. And does anyone have any verbal or oral things they would like to say about their respective?
Well, the Door County Tourism Zone meets on Thursday morning for our regular, this will be full commission meeting. Every other, like, 1 month it is the full commission, and then the next month it's the executive committee. So we hope to finalize and execute our entity agreement with Destination Door County, finally have things hammered out. So a little more transparency, I think, on both sides, between the zone and Destination Door County.
And
Oh, also on the agenda is a discussion of the municipal billings for, you know, administrative costs.
yeah,
So there wasn't anything included in the packet, so I assume that's going to be an oral report to see how, did we receive a billing, Amy?
We have not.
Okay.
We
Guess we'll
didn't.
find out on Thursday.
okay. There's somewhere well, I'll wait until you talk to me, because I'd heard something from them, and I guess I'll wait and hear what's up. Okay, that sounds fine. Anyone else? All right. So moving on, you have in your packet the Door County inspections sheets for, it looks like he was a little behind. He's got a couple months in here, February and March. And we also have a copy of a alcohol and beverage license that Ms. Flock granted to, oh, this is for the Cubs, right? Institute Cubs?
Correct.
Yeah.
And we don't have to do anything with that? You took care of it, correct?
No, you're going to,
Oh, I
someone's
need
going to
we
move
need
on
to-
it.
All right, sorry. We need a motion to approve that.
Everything is paid up, and they have paid for this coming year already.
They paid the
The
ball
whole
fields?
thing.
Really?
Even though we haven't approved it yet.
What, they turned over a new leaf or what?
They get things done.
Are our fees still the same? I forgot what it was. It's per game, per use of the home
$100.
field? $100 per use of.
Per game.
Oh, I'm impressed, thank you. Okay, they've paid up, now they want to serve some brew. So we would need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the Institute and Valley Athletic Club seasonal 2022 Class B beer license.
All right, motion by Mark, second by,
I'll
Second.
second that. I looked at him and he wasn't moving.
all right.
Jeannie can have it.
Motion by Mark, second by Jeannie to approve the alcohol beverage license for the Institute Cubs. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we can get a beer there soon. All right. Takes us down to your correspondence, and in there you have a letter from the Door County Invasive Species Team, telling you the status of what's there, also showing you some lovely pictures of purple loosestrife and a lot of other thistles and things that are out there.
Invasive bittersweet.
Yeah, we've been pretty fortunate in the town. Most of the people that we've contacted regarding any of these things have fully cooperated in removing them, so that's great.
No reason not to.
Yeah. Also a copy of the transportation aids, general transportation aids, which I think Amy mentioned, of $56,000 from Governor Evers for us, thank you. And there is a listing then of quite a few, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think it is, applications to place riprap in the waterway. These applications go to the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. Frankly, I was surprised that so many people did it now that the water level's down. And actually, one of these persons on here I know, and he already did 2 years ago, applied riprap and is going back for a second swing. So information only. All right. And pending application, oh, this is another one. This one is in Sturgeon Bay,
Peterson.
Carla, right?
No, it's on Bayshore Drive.
Yep. And then we have an update from the Door County Century Bike Ride, just telling you there's a map of where the routing is and there'll be no closed streets. They'll do their thing. And lastly, we have the City of Sturgeon Bay's fire report for the month. Oh, I'm sorry, second to the last thing. And here's the notice of the hearing dates for the Hoffmans, which they're moving, and for Kevin Demerit, which is Thursday, March 5th. And, oh, boy, I keep sneaking things in here. This last item came to me in the mail from the chair of Vilas County. Pretty self-explanatory. He's asking for support to send a notice off to Madison that they should modify the levy limits. And I know Jeannie inquired a little bit today about that. Back in Linda's day as town clerk treasurer, we bumped up against this levy limit a lot. And it caused us some heartache. The last few years, we've been in pretty good shape as a town. This is not here for action tonight, but I guess I'd say take a look at it and see what you think. I don't think there's anything, it would hurt us to send this in and support to see if they'll adjust those levy limits. I can't envision, that's not been a topic I've heard at all of late.
Usually a resolution like this will, they'll send it to their county board. I recall receiving resolutions like this when I was on county board, so this may come across our supervisors' desks there. And also Wisconsin Towns Association, when they have their annual meeting or convention, which is in October, they'll bring a group of resolutions together to that, and then forward it either to the governor's office or the appropriate office, saying that we support this, or please take a look at this.
Well, take a look at it. I can put it on next month's agenda if we think that we want to do it, and I'll touch base with the county of Door and the WTA and see if they've heard from anyone with respect to this. It's nothing overly time-consuming. Are you waiting for a reason?
What?
I just have a quick question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So I know you guys just approved like Board, the Institute, Cubs and all that stuff. What is the update on that dugout? Because I don't they use that field? Isn't that the field the dugout fell down?
Well, it's going to be repaired. We've got the concrete slab down, but
Okay.
Construction hasn't started yet.
I was just wondering if that was going to be done for the season or not. That was just information. I apologize.
No, that's all right. We've been trying to get it done since about a day after it happened, but the weather and the insurance company and you name it have not cooperated. But the slab is down. Have you heard a date for when piles gonna?
Weather,
You know,
it's all weather permitting.
another nice day today. So. Okay. All right, and that's it. That's everything that I have from the meeting. We have a few announcements. And the annual town meeting is when? Tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. The Communications and Technology meeting is Monday, April 25th at 2 p.m. The next Park and Rec meeting is Tuesday, April 26th at 6 p.m. And the next town board meeting is May 16th at 7 PM. So, anything else that you would like to consider for next month, other than a couple things we talked about?
Just going back to this resolution for a minute, this was a resolution by Vilas County.
Right.
And not the village of Minocqua. I looked at their population, 21,000. Door County's what, at 28,000? Thereabouts?
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Yeah. I know our population increased by what, 80?
About 100.
100? I don't know what the county overall increased by.
Did not see anything. I mean, they have their own set of problems up there. Obviously, they're very similar to us in terms of
Right,
tourist
tourism,
activity.
right.
And keep going. So, all right, we're down to that favorite part of the meeting, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Mark, excuse me, Derek. Second. Second by Mark, I can't keep them straight. All right, motion to adjourn, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned, thank you.